Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to make this berry granny square tote bag. So for this project, we're going to need 3 different colors of yarn, preferably in berry colors like this green, red, and pink. And you're also going to need a pair of scissors. This yarn requires a 4mm crochet hook. And this is 100% acrylic yarn, but you can use whatever yarn that you have on hand. As you can see, I'm kind of running low on this red color, but hopefully it should be enough to make the granny squares. It should be, because I've only got one more square to make, and I'm going to show you how to make that square right now. I'm going to start my granny square with this green yarn. So to start off, we're going to make a magic circle. So you're going to get your 2 fingers like this, and grab your yarn and wrap it over your fingers like this, forming an X. And on the other side of your hands, there should not be an X. The only X is on the bottom. So once you've done that, you're going to get your crochet hook and pick up the piece of yarn that's behind the front piece, like so. You're going to pick it up and twist it to secure it. You're going to remove it from your hand, and we're going to chain 3. So chaining 3 counts as your first double crochet. So we're going to chain 3 just like that. And let me just adjust my hands so I'm holding the yarn properly. So inside this magic circle, we're going to insert 2 double crochets. So let me explain how to do that. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull that through, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops, like so. There we have our 1 double crochet, and then our chain 3 acting as another double crochet. Now we're going to make 1 more. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. And that is how you make a double crochet. So now we're going to make our first corner of the square, and we're going to chain 2. So you yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through. And now we're going to insert 3 double crochets into the magic circle. So we're not going to chain 3 then insert, because that's just to start your round. So now we can just start adding in your normal your normal double crochets. Once you've inserted your 3 double crochets, we should be able to see our first corner. So we're going to repeat the process again. We're going to yarn over and chain 2, like so, and then insert 3 double crochets into the magic ring. This process is a little bit fiddly because it's hard to keep the ring open whilst you're crocheting, but as you continue to do these types of projects, you'll get used to holding it. So I have 1 more double crochet to put inside. And here we have our second corner. So we're going to do that again. We're going to chain 2 and then 3 double crochets into the magic circle. And now we have 3 corners. We have 1, 2, 3, and obviously a square has 4 corners, but we're going to do the 4th corner a little bit different to how we did the other ones. So you're going to pull the loose string from your magic circle so we can close it all up like this. Make sure you pull it really tight, and as you can see, it's almost complete. So all we need to do now is chain 2. So I'm going to yarn over, pull that through, yarn over, and pull that through. And in the top of our chain 3 that we did at the beginning of the round, I'm going to insert a slip stitch. So you're going to insert your hook, pull the yarn through, and then pull this loop straight through, chain 1. And then I'm going to cut the yarn. So I'm going to pull it slightly loose, so like this, cut the yarn, and then pull this through. And this is round 1 complete. So we have a little square. Now I'm going to attach my next color. I have the red. You can put the color in whatever order you want, but I am going to do green, red, then pink, and then just repeat that pattern. So I'm going to put the red yarn inside one of the corners. You can put it in any corner that you want, and then I'm just going to tie a knot. This is how I change colors. If you want to learn different ways of changing colors, I have a tutorial on my page on how to change colors in 3 different ways. So once you've attached your red like so, you're going to insert your hook and then just hold your yarn properly and yarn over, and then you're going to pull through like this, and we should have like this kind of half loop thing on your hook. And now we're going to chain 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, and this counts as our first double crochet. So we're going to go ahead and add 2 more double crochets, so we have a total of 3. Okay, so I have 3 double crochets in this corner. Now we're going to move to the next corner and insert 3 double crochets. You don't need to chain 1 or anything when you're moving to the next space, because it just keeps everything nice and neat. I prefer granny squares when you don't need to chain 1. It just looks so much better to me. Alright, so once you've done your 3 double crochets, we're going to chain 2 and then insert 3 double crochets. And that's the pattern that you're going to repeat for the next corner. So you need to do 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. That's what you're going to do here and here, but when we reach here, I'll show you how to finish off the square. Now I'm on the last corner, and this does look a little bit awkward to crochet into, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to insert 3 double crochets into that last gap where we have our 3 double crochets where we put initially at the beginning of the round. Alright, so once you've done 3, you're going to chain 2 and then slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 that we made at the beginning. So you're going to pull that through and pull this straight through. Then we're going to chain 1, pull the yarn slightly, remove the hook, cut the yarn, and then pull this straight through. And now we've done 2 rounds. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach the next color, which is the pink. So I'm going to put it in the corner that I just finished crocheting in. So I'm going to place it straight through like this and then tie a knot. Like so. And make sure you pull it really tight as well. So we're going to do exactly what we just did for round 2. So we're going to pull up the pink yarn like so, and then I'm going to chain 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to insert 2 double crochets into the first corner. So just to remind you guys, as you're going along, your chain 3 acts as your first double crochet, and you always start your rounds with a chain 3, then 2 double crochets. So you basically have 3 double crochets, but then throughout the rest of the gaps and throughout the rest of the corners, all you need to do is your normal 3 double crochets. You only chain 3 to start. So in this gap, I'm going to add 3 double crochets. So this is not a corner. So for the corners, I'll explain to you again how to do that. But for all the non-corners, all you need to do is add 3 double crochets. And remember, we're not chaining to move to the different gaps. Now we're approaching a corner, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to chain 2 and then do 3 more double crochets. 2, 3. So in all of the non-corners, like I mentioned before, all you need to do is add 3 double crochets. So now we're just doing a non-corner, which is over here, and I'm adding in 3 double crochets. So you want to repeat this pattern until you go all the way around. So for the corners, just to remind you, you're going to insert 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and in the gaps you're just going to add in 3 double crochets. And when you're approaching the end, all you need to do is add 3 double crochets, chain 2, slip stitch, and then you're going to change your color just as we did on the previous row. So we're just going to continue until we reach the end, and I'll just show you guys how to finish the end one more time, and then you're on your own. You're going to finish the rest of the square by yourself as practice. I'm now at the last corner, so I'm going to insert 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to chain 2, and then find my first stitch, which is like this one, I think. No, it's this one. You want to do it at the top of your chain 3. Insert your hook, and then make a slip stitch, chain 1, and then pull your yarn slightly and cut your yarn and pull this straight through. And that's how you make the square. So you're going to keep repeating the process until we've done 8 rounds. So now it's time to reattach the next color. So you want to attach it to whichever corner you want, and then repeat all the processes. So in the gaps, you're going to just do 3 double crochets, and in each corner it's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Hopefully remember, but if you forget along the way, you can just rewind the video because I did the steps up to round 3. So we're going to need 5 more rounds, and then we have completed the square. So you want to keep changing the colors and making it a little bit bigger. I forgot to mention, I made 2 squares already. So this tote bag needs 3 squares in total. But for the last 2 rounds, I just repeated it in one color instead of changing it, and I think that looks so nice. It gives it like such a nice border, and I did that for this square too. As you can see, I did the border in green, and then for this one I did the border in pink, and then for this one I'm going to do the border in red. Hopefully I have enough yarn for that. But yeah, this is what the other 2 squares look like. Now I'm finishing off the last round, so I'm just going to do 3 double crochets into the last corner. So that was 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to chain 2 and then slip stitch into the top of our first round. Pull that through and then pull that straight through, chain 1, and now we can cut the yarn. And that is all 8 rounds complete. Now you're going to go ahead and make 2 more squares, so we have a total of 3. And as you can see, I was interchanging the colors. So on this square I started with pink but then ended with green, and then on this one I started with red and ended on pink, and then the one that I just finished making I started with green and then ended on red. However, once you turn your squares over, you have these loose ends from your color changes. So to get rid of the loose ends, all you want to do is grab 2 strands of yarn that are kind of close to each other, like these 2 for example, and you're going to bring them together and just tie a knot. And you want to tie like 3 knots or so. Make sure it's really tight so it doesn't come apart. So that's 1 knot, and then I think I'm going to go with 1 or 2 more, like this. Pull it really tight, and then you're going to get your pair of scissors and cut as close to the knots as you can. And this is what it's going to look like. And you want to repeat this with all of these little loose strands. So again, just grab 2 strands together and then tie a knot and then cut it. Once you have finished weaving in all of the ends, this is what it should look like. It's nice and clean on the back. Now we begin the tedious process of sewing everything together. So first we're going to start off by grabbing one of our squares and folding it in half this way so it forms a triangle shape. And you just want to arrange your squares in a way that looks good. So I'm going to put my green one, the one with the green border at the bottom, and then the pink border on the left side, and then lastly the one with the red border on the right side. So you're going to just fold them into triangles and arrange it like so. This is what it should look like, and already the bag is really taking shape. So to sew this, it gets a little bit complicated, maybe especially for beginners, but I'm going to explain it to you the best that I can. I'm going to sew everything together with this pink yarn. You can do it in either green or red, but I already have a bag that's sewn in red, so I'm going to switch it up and go with this pink. The first stitch that we need to make is going to be along here. You could start along here if you want, but it doesn't really matter. So you're going to grab your two pieces like this and make sure both corner pieces are lined up, and then you're going to pinch the bottom as well and fold it over like so. And in the first corner pieces on both of these squares, I'm going to insert the color that I want to sew my work with, and that's going to be this pink yarn. And I'm going to tie a knot like this, very similar to how we were color changing throughout this whole project when it came to making the squares. So it's nothing new there. I'm going to put my hook into the corner, just yarn over and then pull this through so I have a loop. And then I'm going to chain one. So the previous clip cut out because my storage was just full. But anyways, I was saying now we're going to begin single crocheting the whole side together. So from the top all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to just adjust this so I can hold it properly. And I'm going to start by making a single crochet into this corner. So I'm going to put my hook in, pull that through, and single crochet like this. And I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch of the green, and then in the next stitch as well of the pink, and make a single crochet. And you want to do that all the way along the bottom. Let's do one more together. We're going to put it into the next stitch of the green, and then the next stitch of the pink, pull that loop through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and that is how you single crochet. And you want to do that all the way along this piece. Now I'm at the end, so it's where 2 corners are, so I'm going to insert the hook and make a single crochet and then chain 1, and then we're going to fasten off. Now we're going to get ready and sew the other side. So you're going to lay your 2 squares side by side like this, and then put the corners together like so. So now we have the shape of the bag back again, and this is what the front looks like after we've sewn all the way along. And we're going to do exactly the same to this side. So you're going to attach your yarn from the top and fold them in half, so you basically have both squares on top of each other. And we're going to sew along this side. So to start it, I'm going to show you guys one more time. You're going to get your yarn, put it inside the corner, and then tie a knot. Put your hook through, bring your yarn over and bring up a loop. So we have a loop on our hook. And then to start, we're going to make 1 single crochet inside the corner. I'm going to place my hook inside. This is getting so fiddly for some reason. My yarn keeps getting tangled, but just bear with me. Alright, so you're going to put your hook inside the corner, bring up a loop, and then make that single crochet. Alright. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and single crochet all the way along here. Okay, so now I've got 2 squares that are nicely sewn together. This is what the front looks like, and this is what the back looks like. I think while sewing them, one of the most difficult parts is trying to get your bag back into shape. You just have to maneuver it kind of and position it in a way that is correct. So this is what it's supposed to look like right now. And I'm going to do exactly the same process and sew this bit on. So just like we did at the beginning, we're going to get these 2 pieces and the bottom piece, fold it like this, and then sew along there. And then once you've done that, you just sew along the other side just using single crochets, and then I will get back to you. Actually, let's start it together. So I have my two pieces like this, and I have two corner pieces lined up, and I'm going to put the pink yarn through the hole and then tie a knot. Pull it really, really tight. Get my crochet hook, put it inside, and then we're gonna make a single crochet. Sorry, I meant to say you chain one first and then you make a single crochet. So you're gonna put it back in the corner, yarn over, and then pull that straight through. So let's do the next one together. And then here we have another single crochet. So just repeat the process until you reach the end. Now that we've got the whole bag sewn together, it's actually looking really good so far. We're gonna set this aside and start making the strawberries. Okay, so for the strawberries, I'm not even going to pretend like I came up with this pattern by myself. I'm going to give credit to the person that made it because these are so cute and it just makes so much sense as to how they're crocheted. So I'm going to link her video in the description box below. So you're going to go ahead and make as many as you want. I made two, but I think I'm probably just going to use one. Mine is going to go on the center of the bag like this. I think that's going to be really cute. I don't have a tapestry needle, so I'm going to slip stitch this strawberry on, but I 100% recommend that you sew it on because this process is just, it's kind of difficult to do without a sewing needle. So I'm going to try and explain it the best that I can. I'm going to just weave in this end through the top of the strawberry and the middle of my bag, and then I'm going to tie a knot to attach the yarn. I think this process is going to be really, really hard to explain, but I'm going to put my hook through the part of the strawberry and then also through part of the bag, and then grab my yarn and then like grab my yarn and then yarn over and then pull through both sides of the bag. Like guys, I'm telling you, to save all of the stress, literally just sew it together, and I recommend that you buy a tapestry needle because this is actually so complicated. So the process that I'm just going to do is put my hook in to the next stitch and then pick up some of the yarn and then just repeat that process, making slip stitches like this. Okay, so I think I've kind of got the hang of it now. Now I'll explain it to you. So you have your strawberry on your bag, like how I mentioned before, and I'm going to put my hook through one of the stitches of the bag and then one of the stitches of the strawberry, and then pull those both through and then make a slip stitch. See, I explained it a lot better now. So through part of the bag and then through part of the strawberry, and then make a slip stitch, and you just want to repeat that all the way around until you've got your strawberry nice and secure. So I've made it all the way around, so I'm just going to chain one and then fasten it off. You can obviously make your strawberries whatever color you want, but I'm making mine pink. You can do it in red, or you can even use blue to make it like blueberries even. And this is what it looks like sewn on. Alright, so this is what it's looking like so far, and honestly I think it looks better in red, but it's okay. And now the next thing that we need to do is make the straps, and then we're almost done with the bag. You're going to get your yarn in whatever color you want to make your strap, and we're going to make a slip knot and then place your crochet hook on and chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're going to skip one stitch and make a single crochet into the next stitch like so, and then make single crochets in the rest of the stitches along this chain. Once you've reached the end, you're going to chain one, flip over your work, and then single crochet all the way along, and you want to repeat this until you've reached round 56. So we gotta do it a couple more times. But it's not really that bad. It's a good thing we're just single crocheting and chaining one. Okay, so I'm on the last round of the strap, so I just need to do 5 more single crochets and then I have finished it. So I'm gonna just do that one with you guys. So that's 1, 2, sorry, 4 single crochets. I dropped a stitch along the way, so it's now a chain of 4 instead of a chain of 5, but that's perfectly fine. It looks exactly the same as 5. And now I'm gonna chain 1 and fasten off. Now the last thing we need to do is slip stitch or single crochet the strap on. So you're gonna get your piece of bag and you want to sew it on the outside of your fabric. So you're gonna place this on here. I forgot to mention we need to make a slip knot first, so I'm gonna make a slip knot like this, place it through my hook, and then grab my bag and then insert my hook into it like this. You want to go through both pieces and do that. I'm gonna single crochet it closed. For my other bag that I made, I slip stitched, but that's single crochet. Okay, so we have our first single crochet done, and you want to make sure to go through both pieces, so your strap and then the front of your bag. Again, if you have a tapestry needle, you can sew it together, but I'm not sewing. And you just want to single crochet all the way along until your bag is nice and secure. Okay, once you reach the end, we're just going to chain 1 and fasten off. And then you want to do exactly the same to the other side to attach the strap. Oops. And this is what it looks like. Okay, and then you want to attach it to this side, just like how we just did. And that is your bag complete. All you need to do is just cut your loose ends and then you should be perfectly fine. It should come out really nice and neat. I still prefer the first bag that I made, but I was just running low on red yarn, so I couldn't replicate that. But this is how I made it. So if you want to make it like the first bag that I made, just use exactly the same colors and it should come out exactly the same as mine. To make the bag a little bit neater, these are just extras. You can add more strawberries or no strawberries at all, and you can single crochet all the way around the opening of the bag, but I like it like this and I'm just gonna leave it. Alright guys, that is the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I am a little bit rusty when it comes to tutorials, but I hope it was easy enough for you to follow along. And if you have any questions, please don't be afraid to comment down below and I'll try and help you the best that I can. And as always, I will see you in the next one.